Hi, my name is Massimo, and joining me is Soren, Dongxu, Anirudh, and Yang, and we are analyzing the production speed of vaccines. We selected this topic as we had a passion for the medical field when integrated with electrical technologies. With the recent impact of COVID on our daily lives, it highlighted the importance of the future of medical technologies, especially as a countermeasure to the exposure of diseases. This led us to have vaccine production as the focal point of the project. The impact of vaccination on the health of the world's population is hard to exaggerate. With the exception of safe water, no other modality has had such a major effect on mortality, reduction, and population growth. Sanitation in living and working environments, accessibility to clean drinking water, and modern-day vaccinations are the base grounds for a worldwide improvement in human health. Due to the technological advancement and research capabilities, recent studies showcase deaths prevented due to vaccine accessibility to be 6 million annually. This is excluding the intervention of COVID-19 and its response. The United Nations have estimated Earth's population to increase to 10 billion by 2055 through means of providing effective and efficient vaccination and healthcare that will prevent the spread of diseases while extending the life expectancies. Upon the outbreak of COVID, pharmaceutical companies globally began to develop vaccine candidates. After 5 months, by April 2020, 73 vaccines had reached the first stage of development, the preclinical investigation. Out of 73 vaccines, 6 proceeded to phase 1 of the WHO-approved trials, and only 1 further advanced to the phase 2 and 3 by May 2020. After passing the trials and other regulatory checks, the process of global manufacturing and distribution will require further planning and financial assistance, which usually can require months to years. After doing some initial research on the difficulties that occurred with the production of vaccines throughout the pandemic, our group began to formulate 6 measurable project objectives, as well as their related success criteria. Even the most basic manufacturing procedure for vaccines, which are difficult to perform, can take from several months to a couple years. It is clear that conventional methods of producing vaccines aren't quick enough, and it is necessary to reduce the production difficulty and production conditions as much as possible. By increasing collaboration with scientists, manufacturers, and distributors around the world, we can speed up the development of vaccines, making ease and speed of production our first criterion. Organizations like the World Health Organization and International Coalition of Medicine's regulatory authorities ensure patients have fast access to safe and effective vaccines by sharing research and regulating processes. This is important as through rigorous safety guidelines and testing, the vaccines are less likely to have side effects and disturb users' daily routine. Hence, safety and adverse health effects was selected to be our second criterion. There are many costs that are vital and influence the development and pricing of vaccines, such as production process, raw materials, personnel, and complying with international and local guidelines. By reducing the price of vaccines, it will ensure that it will be distributed worldwide, and more importantly, to those of lower socioeconomic status. Therefore, those who are more susceptible to the virus can acquire immunity, making it our third criterion. In addition, since the virus mutates like the flu, it is very important to improve the life cycle of the vaccine. Maximizing the vaccine's life cycle will only protect the user's immune system for longer, but reduce the need for receiving multiple vaccinations in the future, making it another important criteria. A solution that requires little maintenance and frequency of inspections will ensure a design that lasts longer and doesn't require a certain level of expertise in order to use it, making it our fifth criterion. Finally, our solution that occupies as little space as possible is important, as it will require little infrastructure and cost, and in turn reduce global CO2 emissions.
So we compared factory-in-a-box and the narrow tube solutions against the criteria, where factory-in-a-box had an efficiency of 80%, while the narrow tube had an efficiency of 66%, making factory-in-a-tube 14% more efficient than the narrow tube. Hence, we discussed factory-in-a-box in the upcoming sections. So overview of the design. Factory-in-a-box is comprised of an ABB robotic system that includes a multi-thread processor for the main processing computational calculations, while an integrated circuit to manage the flow of the production line, as there is a production line in the system as well. There are multiple sensors to keep a track of the temperature as well as the speed of revolution of the production line. And then there's wiring to connect all the different equipment inside the box. And the software is also specifically designed to carry out a specific task, which in this case is the vaccine production. And all these systems are together connected on a display monitor where a user can control the flow of the vaccines and change it depending on the requirements. And in a model where government supply is the vial, we can estimate the approximate cost of each assembly line to be about 200,000 for one box. This is calculated through using the ABB robotic systems website, where each robotic system costs anywhere between 50,000 to 150,000. And considering we take the 50,000 model, which is the lower end model, and utilize that 3 times along with a $150,000 cost as a total overall system cost provided by Zhengshu Longer machinery. The total cost is to be 200,000. And as for the benefits and the disadvantages of the design, the benefits include the production of 600 vaccines a minute. It is a very portable box. It can be shipped, dismantled and shipped and placed in any source which has a power outlet. There's also guaranteed placement for existing workforce, although there is no job growth in the future in the industry since it is a fully automated industry. The current employees will be replaced into designing and manufacturing the system. There's also it is also a long-term flexible investment, which as it can be reprogrammed or redesigned structurally to carry out any other task. And for another disadvantage, it leaves unprocessed chemical waste, which has to be stored in a specific condition. Otherwise, it can cause serious harm and it can be hazardous to human health. In terms of infrastructure requirements, there is no requirements to be connected to the internet, as it is an independent machine that can carry out a set task anywhere where there's a power outlet. So although if there is a need to be updated in terms of software or any components that need to be added or removed, they will require an internet connection or can be done manually through a user being present at the box. In terms of LED lighting, there's numerous high-powered LEDs located all over the box, as these distribute the factory into 3 different sections, including storage, production, and the processing unit. It helps keep a track of each individual component clearly, and any damages can also be visible from outside the box, making it really efficient. And since it produces over 600 vials a minute, it is extremely cost efficient, as the cost for one vial is quite lower compared to other alternate solutions.
Taking the environmental and sociological impacts of our design was an important factor to take into consideration. Since our design is going to be producing vaccines that are meant to be used by billions of people, it is crucial that we consider how they would react to such a device and how exactly it would change society. One of the key features of our design is production through automation. And while talking about automation, one of the main concerns communities often have is regarding the potential loss of employment. While this concern is genuine, our solution is being implemented in such a way that it's going to be using the current existing workforce of a company to balance the manual labor and the new automation to optimize the production. Another cause for concern is the safety of the vaccines. Like we said, automation is a key part, and people often tend to doubt automation and have their reservations with it. So it is possible that many people would doubt the product and how safe it would be to take. It is therefore important for the success of the product that we gain the trust of the people. And the only way to do that is to educate the masses on the design and how it works. Another way to do that is to show the progress of the design and practically and show the results that it achieves in the real world. Now, moving on to the environmental considerations, our solution is going to be replacing factories in terms of vaccine production. And as it intends to create a large number of vaccines in a short time. This kind of a process would require a constant source of energy to be supplied to each module. It is therefore crucial to consider where the supply will come from and how it would affect the environment. Another key environmental factor to keep in mind is the disposal of waste. As mentioned, there's going to be some toxic waste, and it is important that we examine an effective and an environmentally safe way to dispose of these byproducts. That's better than the present solution. Aside from all this, the making of each module will require a large amount of raw materials and energy, as this is a new technology that doesn't have existing background. One of the crucial, for example, one of the crucial subsystems in this design is a computer that's going to be acting as the brain of our design. And the production of computers often require an enormous amount of fossil fuels and chemicals. One way to counter this could be to reuse parts and recycle components. This will not only help to cut down the negative effects of production, but also the recycling would help to save the environment.
The design gives rise to many safety and security problems. First of all, the design itself is not used for a long time. The production technology is not yet mature, and it is easy to produce many unexpected errors. Therefore, manufacturers need to regularly check whether the box itself is damaged. Second, the pipes for cultivating virus also have high standards. The material for manufacturing pipes need to be qualified and stable, and cannot have chemical reaction with production materials. The material also pipes should be manufactured, produced, and maintained in accordance with the safety standards of the World Health Organization. Third, the rapid production speed of the factory will cause some vaccines to fall to meet the production standards. Therefore, it is necessary to develop machines to test whether the vaccine is qualified or not. Legal and ethical issues must be taken into account in vaccine's production. Vaccine's production is supervised and regulated by the Product Quality Law and the Vaccine Administration Law, the National Electronic Monitoring System, and the Logical Drug Administration, and the government's health department. As a result, vaccine manufacturers have stepped up efforts to monitor and test products to ensure that they meet standards in an effort to ensure the health and safety of patients. and to ensure that there's no concealment or fraud when providing vaccines.
Sorry.